Welcome to The Facts. I'm Rosalyn Tavanis. As early as 1864, President Lincoln signed a bill to set aside the Yosemite Valley for, quote, public use, resort, and recreation, inalienable for all time. Our national park system has been built upon this idea until the present time. This system escalated with the Antiquities Act of 1906, which authorized the president to declare by public proclamation historic landmarks, historic and prehistoric structures, and other objects of historic or significant interest that existed on public land in the United States. President Theodore Roosevelt signed the Antiquities Act on June of 1906. Most every president since has set aside lands for the national parks and/or national monuments. Recent history shows this. President Reagan added 18 new sites during his term. Since President George Bush added 14 new areas. Under President Clinton's term, 19 were added. And lastly, President Obama set aside 19 sites. On the converse, Donald Trump, after only 1 year in office, in March of 2017, issued an executive order requiring federal agencies to review or rescind a number of critical policies that protect our parks and monuments from the adverse effects of oil and gas development. Trump's order was part of a larger scheme of destruction that the White House would articulate as energy dominance. This belief relies on aggressive drilling and development with no regard for our vast wild lands that may be damaged by it. Since this order, it has been the worst single year on record for our national public lands and waters, and not just for parks and monuments. Further, Trump eliminated Bears Air Park and vast portions of Grand Staircase Escalante national monuments in Utah. It was the biggest single rollback of land protection in American history. With encouragement of the White House, Congress passed a tax bill that invited oil and gas drilling in the coastal plain of the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, one of the last great intact wild ecosystems on the planet. Trump further issued another executive order directing the Interior Department to lift drilling restrictions that President Obama imposed in the Arctic and Atlantic Oceans. In December, Trump's administration quietly issued a decision that allows the renewal of mining leases in order to move forward near Minnesota's Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness, which has been called the most visited wilderness area in America. Another attack on our national parks, Trump requested that then Secretary of the Interior, Ryan Zinke, to review and rescind the park's 9B rules. These rules were put into place to set safety and enforcement standards for oil and gas drilling within the boundaries of more than 40 national parks. Since this request, Zinke resigned his post, as information has indicated that he was under scrutiny over a land deal with Halliburton Oilfield Service Company. Halliburton is the world's largest U.S. multinational corporation. It has interests in over 70 countries with 55,000 employees. A side note to this situation, Trump recently issued another executive order changing the Endangered Species Act of 1973, signed by President Nixon. These regulatory changes fit into the administration's broader theme of eliminating regulation and rolling back environmental protection. My question is this: do we really want a president that puts full emphasis on the well-being of gas and oil companies, or one that has the well-being of his citizens and planet in mind? Thanks for watching. I'm Rosalyn Tavanis.